Hey, this is a game where you're tiny in a backyard, so obviously there's going to be giant bugs and spiders, so trigger warning for anybody out there. Hey look, it's the spiders I warned you about. Have you ever imagined what would happen if bugs were suddenly as big as humans? Would we be able to survive? Or would humans no longer be the top of the food chain? Well, lucky for us, that shouldn't happen anytime soon. But what if we were shrunk down to their size? Well, we have the perfect game for that. Grounded, a game created by Obsidian Entertainment, is a game that's basically like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, where we are stuck in someone's backyard. It's a fantastic survival game filled with adventure and bug slaying, and also many, many terrifying spiders. Will you be able to fight off the bugs? Will you find out why you're here? And more importantly, will you be able to grow back to normal size? Let's get started with our adventure into the small, small world of Grounded. When we start the game, we have to pick which kid we will play. We could choose either Max, Willow, Pete, or Hoops. Personally, Pete is my favorite. Wow, a nerdy gamer boy just like me. After we select who we want to be, the game sets us free to do whatever we want in the backyard, whether it be following the main story or slowly unlocking new ways to access different parts of the backyard, or completely ignoring it and just build your way up. While it may seem impossible to climb this wall, we could just build a staircase like this. You see, this game is a base building game disguised as a survival game. There are so many things that you can build that are extremely important to progressing the game. The bugs you meet will also sometimes launch raids onto your base, which is just them coming in and trying to break as many things as possible. So you have to build yourself some protection. While these raids are not as bad as you may think, they teach you an important mechanic that you will absolutely need to know to beat the game. Walls will slow down the bugs' attacks. The stronger the wall, the longer it will take a bug to break it down. The importance of this I will cover in the spoiler section of this video. So let's move on. There are many places we can explore in the backyard. This includes the lower yard, which is the area we start with, the pond, the big tree, the sandbox, the trash bins, and the hedge. There's also the upper yard, which has the grill and the shed. Be careful as you explore though. They're out there and they're ready to kill you.
I'm trapped!
They are all ready to take you out, especially the spiders, who are always hostile towards you. Don't worry though, if you have arachnophobia, there's a filter for that. It just turns them into an equally terrifying blob. I was thinking about putting a spider jump scare here, but I'm not going to. To me, this is a lot spookier than just the regular spider. I mean, look at it. It just looks terrifying. Why would you want to fight up against this? The spider is better, personally. All the bugs provide an interesting challenge that you have to overcome, whether it be ants that swarm you, especially when you're trying to raid their den for their ant eggs, or antlions with their annoying burrow attack, stop burrowing and let me kill you, or the super annoying mosquitoes that attack you in the air. Look, we could settle this fight right now if you would just please stop flying out of range. You will be equipped with a wide variety of armor and weapons to help defeat your foes. Pay careful attention to what each bug is weak to. It definitely helps a lot when you hit them with something they're weak against rather than what they're resistant to. Types of damage that you can inflict are generic, slashing, stabbing, chopping, and busting. And there are also elements such as fresh, sour, spicy, and salty. None of these bugs will provide as much of a challenge than the spiders. Your first major obstacle to overcome is learning how to deal with these guys, especially wolf spiders, as each time you're hit by it, you get a poison debuff, which will just slowly kill you if you don't have enough healing. You can avoid getting poisoned by blocking the attacks with a shield, but with enough hits, you'll get staggered and then comboed on. And some weapons are two-handed, so we won't be able to use a shield all the time. What you should do is learn how to perfect block, which is triggered by blocking just before you take damage. The window for this is actually pretty generous. A master at perfect blocking can easily defeat almost all the bugs in the game. You'll still have some trouble with stink bugs though. By the way, you know what's even worse than a wolf spider? A black widow. Those are resistant to all types of damage and inflict both poison and toxic debuffs for massive damage over time. Good luck. We have some basic survival mechanics that you can follow. As you play the game, you get both hungry and thirsty. This is probably obvious to say, but don't drink dirty water or eat raw meat. The downsides for both are not worth it. We can easily find clear water if we just look up at the grass. And we have plenty of meat to cook with aphids and weevils. Later on, you can cook up some better foods and drinks that will give you some really useful buffs. So I'm letting you know now, you should probably make a lot of smoothies before you start any boss battle. They're extremely useful and you can carry a lot of them. Alright, now let's move on to the story. If you don't want any spoilers, move here. Hey, thank you for sticking around this far. I really appreciate it. Like and subscribe now! So we originally woke up in the backyard not knowing how we got here. As we progress through the story, we get these dreams of events that happened just before we were put in the backyard. Basically, an evil corporation is kidnapping children to experiment with their shrinking technology, as there is a side effect that happens called raisening, where you basically start shriveling up like a raisin, your body slowly becoming wrinkled and wrinkled until it's extremely disfigured. We can even find a milk carton that has a picture of 4 missing children, which they most likely kill. In fact, we can also find skeletons of scientists who were previously researching here in the backyard. We follow a trail of tapes left by a scientist who originally came up with the shrinking technology. With specific tapes, we learn how to make ourselves regular sized again. We then have to play one of the hardest missions in the game that requires you to make a really strong fortress. This is the only time I can recall that the game actually makes you do this. What I really like as you're progressing through the story, the area that is infected by the cordyceps mushroom spreads throughout the yard. And of course, we get an even more difficult version of the wolf spider, which is equal parts cool looking and disgusting. Grounded is a unique survival game that lets you fight through many different types of bugs in your attempt to get yourself back to regular size. I highly recommend you play it. It's even better if you can find friends to play with. Thank you so much for watching. Please consider liking the video and subscribing. If you would like to hang out and chat with me, I have a Twitch channel. I would love to play a variety of different games. Look forward to more reviews and other fun content in the future. Hey, Phoebe here again. I wanted to do a jump scare in the middle of the video, but I felt bad for those of you that may have arachnophobia. So I decided to put it here. Let's check it out. Ho ho! Guess I saved your life there. Better like and subscribe.